Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I'm here today to discuss my March TBR. Now, I don't usually film a TBR video for my channel. I may film one occasionally for a particular readathon or something like that, but there's so many readathons and, themed reading events and all kinds of events having to do with different activities this month on BookTube, and I just wanted to participate in as many of them as I can. So I ended up having to put together a TBR, and I wanted to go through each of them and talk about which reading events they fall into and all that kind of stuff, because I'm really excited for the reading that I'm going to be doing in the month of March. So let's get into it. The first reading, well, it's not really a readathon, it's a month-long themed reading event, is Middle Grade March, which I'm sure you've all heard about. This is where everybody is reading middle grade books, and there are 5 different prompts, and I am going to try to read a book for each of the prompts, although I'm doubling up on one of them. So the first prompt is nonfiction based on true events, and for this prompt I am going to listen to the audiobook of the young people's version of I Am Malala, and this that is a memoir by Malala Yousafzai, I think is how you say her name, and she is a I don't even remember which country she's from, but Afghanistan, I want to say, but I could be wrong about that. It's a very popular book. I just haven't read it yet, and I thought this would be a good time to listen to the audiobook about her attempts to get an education for herself in a country where young women are not allowed to be educated. The second prompt is for books with a non-human character, and for that I am picking this book. This is Albert of Adelaide by Howard Anderson, and the non-human character is a platypus who is on a journey across Australia, and he meets a whole collection of different animals on his journey, and he's looking for the old Australia, the land of freedom and liberty. And this book has been on my TBR since before I joined BookTube. I'm not even sure how long ago, and I don't know why, because I'm really excited to read this book. So I'm glad to have this one back in the forefront of my mind again. The third prompt is a fantasy, and for that I am going to read Wundersmith by Jessica Townsend. This is the second book in the Morgan Crow series. Everybody's talking about this. Many people are reading it for Middle Grade March, and I am no exception. Very excited to get to this one. And then the fourth prompt is a book written in verse, and for that I am going to read Inside Out and Back Again by Thanhha. And this is a National Book Award winner and a Newbery Honor book, and it is written in verse about a young girl's leaving Vietnam and coming to the United States as the Vietnam War is ending. And everybody raves about this book. Particularly Doris over at All D Books read this in the last few months and really raved about it. So excited to get to that one. And then the fifth prompt is diverse reads. So of course this book does fit the bill for a diverse read, and also I Am Malala does as well. So it'd be doubling up for that prompt. The next reading, month-long reading theme that I want to participate in is March Mystery Madness, and this is another month. It takes place over the whole month, and there's a bunch of prompts for different mystery books that you could read, but I'm not going to utilize any of their prompts because I want to read the next book in the J.D. Robb series, at least next for me, and that's Dark and Death, which I have out on ebook from my library. So glad to have that one. And then I'm also going to be listening to another audiobook after I finish I Am Malala. I want to listen to The Precipice by Doiron, who is a main author, and The Precipice is a book in the I believe his name's Mike Bowditch, is a main game warden, and all of the books in that series are based around mysteries that he is solving as a main game warden. I really enjoyed that series, and I haven't read one probably for at least a year, so excited to get back into that series. The next readathon is, again, another month-long readathon, and it is the Irish readathon. And this takes place, again, over the entire month, and it has a bunch of prompts. The only prompt I'm going to be, well, this book actually fits 2 of the prompts, and that is a book that is older than me and a book with green on the cover, and that is a portrait of the artist as a young man by James Joyce, a classic, and it's definitely older than me, and it has green on the spine and the back cover. So it fits 2 of the prompts. I won't be probably reading any other Irish books that I can think of at this time, although I have a lot of books on my TBR, but I did note that Sally Rooney is an Irish author, and I would very much like to try a Sally Rooney book. So if I can sneak it in, I might try to get a Sally Rooney book as well. But I believe that this book is going to be quite difficult for me. This book also doubles up because it is one of the books on my classics list of classics to read if you're a college-bound student that I've been trying to complete over the last 20 years. So it's going to double up for me for that. So excited to finally get to that one. Then the next readathon is the FemmeFanTale Readathon, and I can't remember the time period of this one, but I will link Jean's announcement video down below. That's Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts. She is the one hosting this readathon, and it is to read fantasy books by female authors. And so for that, I am doubling up on Wundersmith by a female author. And if I have time, I would like to also read Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers, which is, yes, in fact, a sci-fi novel, but I'm going to cheat there a little bit if I have time. Then the March of the Mammoths is happening in March, and that is a book, that is a month-long reading event where you try to read books that are over 800 pages, and for that, I am going to try to finish this behemoth, my Grant biography by Ron Chernow. This is well over 900 pages of actual book, not including the endnotes. Let me see how long it is. It is actually text, not including acknowledgments, and endnotes is 959 pages. I am currently on page 634. So I have been slowly making my way through this. It's a very detailed biography of Grant. I am now in, we've finished the Civil War, and I'm in Grant's, he's running for president. Has he been? He's been elected, but he has not been inaugurated yet, so he's just picking his cabinet right now. So, yeah, very detailed, but Ron Chernow is an excellent biographer, so I am enjoying my making my slow way through that, that book. Now, the last 3 books that are on my TBR are the 3 books that I still need to read for my group in the BookTube Prize, and I can't talk about those, obviously, so I am just gonna, I've made 3 blocks in my little list of, I'll show you my, in my bullet journal, I've got my 3 blocks here to color in when I've completed the 3 books that I still have left to read for my category of the BookTube Prize. So that leaves me with a total of 11 books, I believe, on my TBR, which is ambitious, but 4 of them are middle grade books, so those theoretically should go a lot quicker. Also, my daughter is gone for this first week of March. She is traveling out of the country for the first time. No, she's traveling to Europe for the first time, to Spain with friends, and so that should free me up for lots of reading next week while she's gone. And there are a few other things happening during the month that should give me a little bit more reading time than I normally have. So hopefully 11 books is doable for me. And then, of course, I had those few books that I mentioned that I'd like to squeeze in there if I can. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I think it's awesome how many different reading events are happening on BookTube this month. I think it really has made me excited about reading, and it's been kind of a rough first 2 months of the year in terms of my reading progress. So I'm excited to read these books and hopefully get a lot done and a lot accomplished and engage with other booktubers through all these events. So Please let me know down below in the comments if you are planning on participating in any of these reading events and which ones and which book that you are particularly excited about reading in March, and I will talk to you later.